Hello again, and good afternoon or good morning, whatever it is where you happen to be. Continuing on with the fields that define an item site, an important one is the planner code. And before we actually look at the planner code, because it is remarkably simple to set up, let's just look at a couple of places where it's actually used. A planner code is linked to an item at a specific site to define it for the purposes of, and that's what we'll look at here. What you'll notice is that if we go to inventory, say item availability as an example, that one of the key fields that we can filter on is the planner code. So in this database, we have a rather simplistic setup that says, well, here are my MRP items. It may be that what we have is MRP dash FG for finished goods, MRP dash SUB for subassemblies, and MRP dash PUR for purchased items. That might be a reasonable way of defining your planner codes. You want to be careful about not overthinking the planner codes. I've watched situations where folks have created so many planner codes that they were constantly changing the planner code on the various screens where you can use it as a filter because counterintuitively it was too granular. But what this screen allows me to do then is to select a planner code and then see, in this case, inventory availability for that list of items that are linked to that planner code. Now, again, in this case, all items across many different sites share the same planner code. So if I wanted to see planner codes for just say WH1, I'd have to add that filter to the mix. But it is possible to link an item to a planner code. In fact, it's required that the planner code is linked to the item site. So again, the same item could have a different planner code for two different sites. So this is just one of numerous screens in the application that allows you to filter by planner code. If you have an edition of xTuple that includes MRP, then one of the very important screens that allows you to filter by planner code is the planned order screen. So this is the screen that after you've run an MRP, material requirements planning, or an MPS, master production scheduling, allows you to see the advice that xTuple has actually generated for you and filter that advice by the planner code. So now I would be seeing planned orders by planner code, so a subset of the overall plan that MRP had created. In this case, I'm not seeing anything because I simply don't have anything that anything on the list because I haven't run MRP recently, and the last time I did, I cleared out all of the planned orders. So how do we set up a planner code? If we're using it as a filter on various screens in the application, sounds reasonably easy to set up, and it is. There are a couple of little caveats to it that you need to know about. If we go to inventory and then we navigate to planner code, let's take a look at what defines the MRP planner code. It is a code and a description. In addition, xTuple has the ability during an MRP run to reschedule unreleased supply orders. What is a supply order? Well, a supply order could be a purchase order, depending on the type of item, or it could be a work order. So this checkbox, if it's checked, will reschedule unreleased work orders or purchase orders. That's generally considered a little bit dangerous. That's something that most planners would prefer to do themselves. And in fact, xTuple does generate advice that makes suggestions about moving the schedule date in or the due date in or out for work orders or purchase orders, potentially canceling a purchase order or a work order. Or changing the quantity on it. So there are screens in the scheduling module related to MRP that actually give you the advice that you would need to know what to do in terms of rescheduling. Delete unreleased supply orders, again, considered dangerous. If you're comfortable with your setup, then perhaps you decide to do that. Again, they are unreleased, so if you want to set an order aside and say, I don't want the next MRP run to touch this order, then by releasing it, it would be out of the domain of MRP. If you leave this unchecked, then MRP can't touch that order. It is truly best practice, if you have the manufacturing edition, to automatically explode planned orders to their lowest level. So in other words, an MRP run will go multiple levels down through the bill of material until it gets to the very bottom level of the bill of material in generating its plan. If you have only the standard edition, then you don't have that choice. It is only a single level MRP run. So best practice, though, if you have the choice, is to check this box and then check multiple level explosion. That's it. In another video here coming up shortly, we'll actually see where we link the planner code into the item site record. Okay, we'll see you later.